How's it going, everybody? It's Pilot Flame, and we are back with another preseason FPL video. And today we're concluding our Team Watch series for the preseason with Wolves, where we're going to be taking a look at all of their FPL assets, which ones we like, which ones we don't like, and which ones that could become FPL assets if some things change or they make acquisitions in the transfer market. Raul Jimenez just over my left-hand shoulder here. Glad to see him back out on the pitch, even though he is wearing like a head protective piece, but it would be great if he could become an FPL asset again for us managers. At 7.5 million looks to be a bargain, but we'll talk about him in just a bit. If you haven't done so already, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new or haven't done so already. It greatly helps out the channel, and turn those notification bells on so that you can get the content as soon as it's readily available. Also, make sure to drop us a follow over on Twitter and join our FPL Flames Recruits League. The link is in the bio over on Twitter. And give us a follow over on Twitch if you want to see when we go live for our Game Week 1 preview and deadline streams, which will be starting back up for Game Week 1 on Monday. It's so close now. Today is Friday of this recording, so just a couple of days, and then we're going to be preview stream on Monday, deadline stream on the Thursday. It's going to be fantastic, and you're not going to want to miss it. So without further ado, let's take a look at our partners for this FPL video. We have partnered up with Fantasy Football Scout for this coming Fantasy Premier League season, and they're giving you an exclusive offer. Use the link down in the description to get 20% off your Fantasy Football Scout membership. It gives you access to the exclusive members area, which has new tools such as the 3-player comparison tool, as well as some old favorites such as the Rate My Team tool, the Season Ticker, and my personal favorite, the fully customizable stats tables, which you can share among other Fantasy Football Scout members, powered by Opta Stats. Use the link down in the description below to get 20% off your membership today. Sign up now. Now with Wolves, they struggled on the attacking front for a large portion of the season. That was mainly due to the fact that Raul Jimenez was injured for the majority of the season. I think he got injured like similarly around the same time as like when Van Dijk got injured as well, or maybe Jota, but in that period. It wasn't more than, like six to 8 games into the season when he did pick up his nasty head injury, which he's been recovering from ever since. I'm glad to see him back out on the pitch, smiling and challenging for headers and all that sort of stuff. So it's good to see on that front. And he's going to be the main reason why Wolves get back into it. But they also have a new manager as well, who's going to be instilling a bit more of an attacking prowess to Wolves. Nuno is a bit more on the negative side, went with a 3-4-3, whereas I think the likes of Laga is his name. I think that's how you pronounce it. Laja. I don't know. I just know that he is looking. He seems to be playing 4-4-2, 4-2-3-1, but he's doing it in a more attacking sense, which will definitely get the best out of the likes of Raul Jimenez and could help Fabio Silva as well, which would be interesting. He's not on the graphic, but is someone that could do quite well. I believe he's only 6 million in the game as well, so he could be one of those cheaper forwards that has yet to emerge for us, other than Ivan Toney, who's at 6.5 million. With the likes of Neto and Traore and Podence of that like, and they also got Trincao on loan as well. We'll talk about that in the transfer section. But they have pace and devastation out in the wide areas, and if they can utilize that, Traore, he can go past literally an entire team with his speed, if not, corrected with a tackle or the ball taken off of him. And he's definitely gotten better at his chance creation. If you see the last 4 matches, 5 chances created. He also had 8 shots inside the box. So they're getting very involved. He's slowly developing as more of a creator and like a proper wide player. Neto as well, someone who likes to get involved, get in the box. 6 chances created. One of those was a big chance for him that he received. 5 shots inside the box, 1.43 XGI. All very good stats for a budget midfielder. It's just, are Wolves going to be the attacking threat? If we're going off last season, if you look at the last 4 matches, only 2 big chances in the last 4 matches played in the Premier League last season, which is not great. So we're going to definitely be waiting to see on that. But they did a 36 shots, which isn't terrible. 3.23 non-penalty XG over this 4 matches. So their big chances were big chances. It's just they just weren't getting very clear-cut chances quite often, and they had to make do with much smaller chances. Across the whole season, only 46 big chances. That's just not enough, which is why they struggled for large portions of the season. 281 shots inside the box isn't terrible, but you would like to see a lot more big chances from that shot volume. And 33.71 non-penalty, actually, that's just not going to be good enough. And they have a rough start to the season. You know, Leicester away, Spurs at home, Man United at home. Those are not going to be easy fixtures. Now, from game week 4 onwards, they have a nice spell of 5 games or so where we're potentially going to be looking to shift our Villa assets to our Wolves assets, and hopefully one of these guys can emerge for an attacking asset, because I think some teams are definitely able to be got at, especially Jimenez on his day. I think he's definitely the one to be putting on your watch list. Now, with the attacking options out of the way, let's see if there's any defensive options that we can get a bargain for going into this season. Now, here are some of the defensive options that we could potentially have for Wolves this season. Patricio I've put on here just because we can get an idea of what we can expect from a Wolves goalkeeper. He was a very, very solid keeper. Let's make no mistakes about it. He had plus 1.80 XG prevented in the last 4 matches that they played, so he was having to save a lot of shots. I mean, 15 saves, 12 bonus points across the whole season isn't too shabby. And remember, he was 5.5 million last season. He's gone down in price, and his replacement, which we'll talk about in the next section, is the same price as well. But if we can get something like that from a goalkeeper, maybe further down the line he could be a set and forget, or his replacement could be a set and forget. But we know that Wolves were a very defensive-minded team. Will that mean that they become an offensive-minded team, and then, you know, replacement goalkeeper and Sa becomes a more of a shot stopper and, you know, racks up a lot of points that way? That's kind of what Martinez was able to get a lot of bonus points for. Keeper makes a lot of saves. You win the game 1-0 with a Raul Jimenez goal. Keeper's going to be in the bonus points as well alongside Raul Jimenez, so we'll have to keep an eye on that one. Defensively, Cody's always going to be a mainstay, but as you can see from his XGI, not really involved in terms of the attacking play. His bonus points mainly come from clean sheets and passing, and potential, you know, shots are going to be few and far between offset pieces, as he's the one that kind of, you know, lingers back, with the likes of Bali and Roman Saiz taking up more of the attacking threat on set pieces. The main man I do want to talk about is Ait-Nouri, someone who they've recently signed on a permanent deal. We'll talk about that in the transfer section a little bit more. But he comes in at 4.5 million. And the reason we're highlighting him is because now maybe Wolves have some players that need to come back. That's still true. But he's been playing out on the left wing. Now that is something I can get behind. In a 4-4-2 system, if you have a 4.5 million defender playing out on the left wing, that is something that could be quite tasty. Maybe we see the likes of Traore on one side, Ait-Nouri on the other side, and then you have the likes of, I don't know, Podence or Neto or someone playing alongside Raul Jimenez. That could be very interesting. I can definitely get behind that, and that would make me very interested in getting Ait-Nouri as a cheaper defender, even potentially from the start, if that seems to be the way that they're going to continue for the regular season. So we'll have to see and monitor that situation. He's definitely a one to watch. If you're looking for a cheap defender that you're not necessarily going to play until game week 4 onwards, then he could be the one to go. I see a lot of managers going with Ben White, and they're going to bring him in when Arsenal's fixtures get better. I think is also in game week 4, so that's going to be something to monitor. But Ait-Nouri, they definitely sign him on a permanent basis. He could be out of position. Even at wingback, I still think that's a fantastic bargain. If Wolves are going to be a lot more attacking, we know he's got good quality. He's definitely quite quick, very tricky, and could be a good for our FPL team. So one to monitor, definitely on my watch list at that price point as well. Now, lastly, let's take a look at the transfers that Wolves have made during this summer window. As we were mentioning, Ait-Nouri's come in at around just shy of £10 million on a permanent basis from SCO Angers, I think is how you pronounce this, from Ligue 1, one of the French teams. He was on loan last season and has made his deal permanent. Now, these are approximations from Transfermarkt, so take it with a pinch of salt. They're not official unless, announced by the club, but it's going to give you a rough idea of how much these clubs are paying for these sorts of players. Also, Jose, I think it's Jose Sa, I think it is. I could be wrong on his first name. Let me just check while I'm thinking of it. Where is he to? I think it's Jose Sa. Yeah, Jose Sa from Olympiacos. He's also Portuguese, 28, so a little bit younger than Patricio, but should fulfill the same role. And he's come in for actually 8 million euros, which is, they got a better deal because Patricio cost more than that for the likes of Roma, and he's going over to play for Jose Mourinho in Serie A. And that was around £10 million they got for him as well. And the goalkeepers are basically going to be the same price. So if you're looking for a Wolves goalkeeper, you're just going to take Jose Sa instead of Patricio now. Now, Trincao is another one that's quite interesting as well. He's come in on loan from Barcelona, and he could be someone who definitely shakes up the kind of front line, a very attack-minded player, and could be very interesting, but definitely one to watch. I'm always a bit skeptical of players that come in from La Liga, just because it is a bit of a, I don't want to say a softer league, but the English league is definitely known for its, gritty tackles and just like, rainy night on, at Stoke and that sort of, those kind of memes and whatnot. Whereas, La Liga players typically can be, have to adjust a little bit. So we'll have to see on that front. But I believe he's also Portuguese in nationality as well, so he'll fit right in with the whole. They actually have quite a lot of Portuguese players over at Wolves as well as the manager is as well. With the outs, we mentioned Patricio as well, who's gone out, and Jose Sa's come in. Ruben Vinagre, he was on loan last season. He's also left as well. I believe that's also on loan. And Ruben Neves is the main talking point, not necessarily an FPL option, but could potentially shake up what formation, Wolves decide to play. He's 5.5 million in FPL, but again, he's more of a defensive option. But he could go for big money and allow for, well, big money, I say, close to 40 million pounds. It could be to the likes of Manchester United, to the likes of Arsenal have been linked with him as well. He could be somebody that allows Wolves to potentially get some late acquisitions, for their midfield as well, to make it a bit more on the creative side. João Moutinho is someone who is a bit older, can't really play every game on a week-to-week basis, and all the creativity relies on him. They have to find it from somewhere else, and maybe that's what they're going with this new identity with, the likes of Aït-Nouri, Traoré, Trincao, all these sorts of players on the flanks, getting the ball to them and allowing the likes of Jimenez and Fabio Silva in the center to feed off the sheer volume of crosses. And they just need someone a bit more defensive minded maybe than the likes of Ruben Neves in that midfield. Somebody who's just basically like, play it simple, get it out wide, and just kind of tackle everyone to bits, basically. Whereas Neves likes to often spray the ball a lot more longer range, and also likes to shoot as well. Maybe they just need someone a bit more reserved. But yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments below as to which other players Wolves should be bringing in. In my opinion, I think they need to, obviously, if they sell Neves, they need to definitely get a midfielder in, and then maybe just a creative midfielder to potentially come in for João Moutinho if Trincao isn't that option. So let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, that's going to do it for Wolves transfers. And that is going to do it for this final Team Watch preseason video for Wolves. If you haven't done so already, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and turn those notification bells on so that you can get the content as soon as it is readily available. Drop us a follow over on Twitter if you wouldn't mind, or if you want to keep up to date with any FPL transfer news, which I've been retweeting a lot over the last week or so, as well as join our Flames Recruits League. The link is in the bio description as well. And give us a follow over on Twitch if you want to join us for our live streams, which are starting Monday coming up next week. That's going to be our first preview stream of the season. We'll be doing preview and deadline streams throughout the entire FPL season. And lastly, use the link down in the description below for Fantasy Football Scouts, 20% off their membership. It's going to help elevate your FPL game. It's going to help mine as well. Hopefully, we're going to get a better rank this season. Thank you all for watching, and until the next one, take care.